evolution of sound.
I would like to take this opportunity to announce
Sarah.
So hot right now.
I would like to take this opportunity. People!
Beep beep. What's up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and today we're going to be going into FM synthesis hard. We're going to be learning about some basic and some advanced techniques that you guys can implement in your sound design today, or in some of your favorite presets, just because you think it might need a little bit of that FM boost, if you know what I'm saying. Now, we're going to be using Serum because Serum is so fire, so hot right now, and it also has a shit ton of preset sound banks. So the first thing we're going to do is use a sine wave to do our FM. And why are we using a sine wave to begin with? Well, the sine wave is the purest form. If we look at the sine wave in a spectrum, you're going to notice that the sine wave only has one mountain, one titty. Now, if we move over to, let's say, a saw, the saw is going to have a lot of more harmonics. It's going to have that big mountain, and then there's going to be little mountains right next to it. These are all going to be harmonic frequencies from here on. Now, the sine wave is the purest one of them all. It's like the virgin wavetable. It hasn't been altered. It hasn't been destroyed. It hasn't been taken advantage of. But today we're going to be using it, and we'll talk a little bit about how to implement it with other stuff. Now, the reason I also advise to use a sine wave is because, one, it's the simplest one, and it also gives you a more pleasing sound. If you use like complex wavetables, you're going to get scared of FM because it's not going to sound good. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is lower this level. And we're going to just have this sound come out because this is a sound that's going to get FM, aka frequency modulated. Okay, so we're going to add it. And that's how FM sounds. Now, the first tip I can give you guys is don't get stuck into this idea that you just need to do this and that's it. The first thing that we can implement that a lot of sound designers implemented back in the 80s and the 90s is pitch ratio. So in FM synthesis, whatever we do to this wavetable is going to alter this wavetable. So back in the day, you know, they had these pitch ratios. Now, pitch is just going to be the frequency of a sound, as you guys know. And the faster a sound moves, the higher pitch it's going to sound. So if this sound moves faster, it's going to alter this wavetable differently. So let's try that 1 octave. Now 2 octaves. Now 3 octaves. One more time at low octave. Okay, very easy stuff, right? And you get these nice sounds that I know a lot of you guys are starting to recognize from a lot of music right now, especially in bass house and house music and G house. So now what we can do here is implement another strategy. Using the same idea, we can go the semitone route. Make sure you're using +7 or +5, as they tend to be a lot more in key than the other semitones. So, oops, we changed it. You can see it changes it as well. So these are going to be a little bit of the techniques I will suggest. These are basic in terms of a sound designer back in the 80s, but right now I don't see a lot of people implementing this technique. You can also make wavetables this way, as you guys have seen. If you want to see that video, make sure to click up there. It'll pop up somewhere. Now, the next thing that we can do is we can make babies. Now, you guys are probably laughing right now, but the next way is we use another wavetable. Let's say we use a saw this time. Now, the way I look at the FM inside of Serum in any style is that it's like making a baby. When you put the saw into the sine wave, literally that's what we're doing. Kind of funny if you think about it. What's going to happen is the sound is going to change, and you're going to hear a little bit of that FM that we just heard with just 2 sine waves, but you're also going to hear a little bit of that harmonic content of the saw, aka making a baby of a sine and a saw. So I guess you can consider FM like making babies between wavetables. So and as you can see, it's not as pleasing as the last one was. And, you know, that's just the fact that it's not going to sound that good because the saw is very complex. It has so many harmonics in it that it's really not a good one to use. However, let's try it pitch up. That sounds a lot better. As you can see there. Now let's try pitch up higher. Man, those saw babies are coming out beautiful. Now let's try +3 and we'll be done. As you guys can see, we're getting really cool sounds out of this, and it's a lot of fun when you know what you're doing. So again, guys, try and not use harmonic wavetables like the saw or like any other complex, because it does give you some bad results. However, I'm sure if you play around with it like we just did, you can get some cool stuff out of it. Now, the next thing that we can do with FM synthesis is going to be to pretty much alter this wavetable here. So let's go back to our classic analog sine here that we had. And now let's start to modulate this one. Now remember, we're not hearing oscillator B right now. So what we can do is anything that changes this wavetable is going to change the way this one sounds, okay? So let's try using a sync first. Let's, you know. And you can see there we have this variation going now, because then what you can do is maybe modulate this a little and modulate this a little bit. Let's go back with the sync, because the sync is literally all it's doing. It's increasing the pitch on it. We're going to move it back, and now we can put it in here. Remove that, add it back in. You know, try to be slow with it as well. Sometimes what I see is that if you do any sudden changes very fast, it tends to ruin the FM. It sounds more like a fucking meow, meow siren than a legit sound. Okay, so the next thing that we can do again is do that to the wavetail position as well, to get cool sounds out of it. Now, FM is nothing crazy, as you guys can see it, and we can implement it in various ways to make various sounds. Now, the last thing I want to end this video with is going to be the idea that FM isn't just for dubstep music. FM can be used for all kinds of music. For instance, let's say we want to make, you know, a very cool kind of 80s kind of sound. What we can do is just open a cutoff and shape it with it. Use an envelope. Be very subtle with the FM. And you can hear we start to get these really nice pleasing sounds if you're not hard with it. And this is going to be the sound of the 80s. A lot of people used to make sounds like this just via the FM. So let's make like a little piano here, a little release. Now we're going to add this here. And we're going to add a release here as well. Let's give it a little bit of voicing so it turns into stereo. And then what we can do is add some hyper, add some reverb, the magic polish. You know, once the effects touches the sound, it's over. It's serumified. Baby, come back. All right, guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that tutorial. Fairly easy stuff. I wanted to show you things you could do with the FM. Obviously, there's more things, like you can FM from the noise oscillation section here, put something in there, and then FM this to FM this. Again, you know, that's nothing that we haven't seen from other synths. There's sometimes like 6 oscillators in them. But hopefully this video helps you out, helps you use Serum FM a little bit better, and hopefully you understand that Serum is the shit right now. It's hot, it's fire, it's sexy, and I'll see you guys next time, ninjas. Take care and have an amazing day.
Hard style never dies. From heaven straight to hell. From the night till the day. Fuck these bitches. This game is over.